The final day that I decided I'm going to take my life back and leave an abusive and controlling marriage. Check the dates. So we left and we went to the first hotel we could find. I didn't have any money or anything, and it was very rundown, very not demure. After being in there for some time, my face started to react, and this is how it just looked. It was horrible. I was dark and so much inflammation. Even my puppy was depressed. It was really sad, y'all. I cried a lot. I took a picture of myself and didn't recognize myself. I couldn't see myself. So I started praying. Then one day I got up and said, hey, get yourself together, girl. If you look at my eyes, they're so sad. Day 16, I decided I was going to try to smile. I forgot how I looked to smile. Day 20, not happy again. We had to move hotels because I couldn't stay at the place we were staying at much longer. We had to leave and find another place. Even though we were going through what we were going through, we still tried to make the best of it. It was just the two of us in our apartment. And we were in a place that was not home. I had no car, I had no money, and I made it work with the funds that I did have saved up to eat. But we did make the best of it. On this day, I had to come up with a plan to get us back to Florida from Connecticut. I didn't have a car, and I had clothing and a little bit of furniture to bring back with me. So I got up and I got in an Uber and I went to U-Haul. This is at night. I got the U-Haul, but I got discouraged some kind of way, and my daughter had left with her dance team from her school because they was giving her like a going away type thing. My initial plan right here was to make a video to my family, and I just broke and I cried out to God, and I couldn't understand why he had put me in this position. Why did he make this so hard for me? And all I could do was just weep for the first time, just let it all out, and I wanted to capture it. By this time, the enemy had taken complete and total control of my mind and my thoughts. So when my daughter got back, I waited until she went to sleep, and I took my GUN and I went out to the U-Haul truck, and I sat there contemplating on if I should unalive myself. But then I heard the voice of the Lord say, you have plans. You have things to do. And you are not selfish. And where would that put your daughter, abandoned in a rundown hotel by herself at the age of 15, 16 years old? And then a glimpse of my baby just popped in my head, and I put the gun down. And I remembered that I did have something to live for, no matter how hard this trial was. We made it to Florida 24 hours later. My feet were so swollen, I drove all the way. I drove all the way back to Florida in a U-Haul truck going 70 miles per hour. It took me 21 hours to make it back home, but this is me at my mom's place. We made it. We made it back, and I was so relieved, and I finally was able to actually breathe. My mama was so happy to see us. She didn't know everything that we had been through. This is the next day of us putting our stuff in the storage out the U-Haul because I had to return the truck, and we was just happy, and I figured I'd catch a video of my daughter dancing because she was happy. Clumsy me, missed my hand up trying to move stuff. This day is the day I found out I was hired by my job. I was so happy. This is the first day of work back in Florida. This is after work. I was so tired. I got back in church. and I decided to love me in my natural state. First time ever seeing myself smile in 2 years. I sent my daughter off to prom. She was so gorgeous, and I was still praising God through it all. I bought a car. It was a lot of things that happened in between this time, but stay tuned for part 2 if my story inspires you. Be blessed.